But that's not the reason we're here. We're here to talk to Joanne about her mission. But let's talk to Joanne first about Joanne. So kind of give us an update on what's going on. I guess first maybe there will be some people here who are watching who don't know you. They're not familiar with you. In fact, we got some in the room who may not be familiar with you, but certainly some who are watching. At least we hope the word's getting out. Please like and share this thing as time goes on. But so tell us a bit about, you grew up here and grew up in the church. Tell us a little bit about Joanne.
So I am a native Emmanuelite, born and raised Savannah, Georgia. Grew up in this church. This is essentially a second home. Came to know the Lord at a young age through wonderful people here at this church, including my dad and Miss Love and all kinds of wonderful people.
We were just talking about Linda right before we got on here. So.
Yep. So been in Savannah most of my life, and because of my love for the Lord, that led me to really appreciate missions and making sure Jesus is known everywhere, and in an interesting and not easiest life. Most people who know me know I have a daughter who is in heaven, my Evelyn, and she is actually one of the reasons that I feel so strongly about missions, because you never know when your last day is going to be, and there's an urgency to tell people about Jesus and to make him known. So that inspires me to go into the world, whether here at church, been going with the youth group on mission trips all throughout my life, and then as an adult, been to Dominica and Israel. And then what led me to where I am today is a mission trip to Uganda from 2023. Yes, crazy. That's not that long ago.
So let's back up for a second, because you talk about never knowing, okay? And so the passing of your daughter was a sudden thing. And so and I believe, if I remember right, Joanne was on the search team that actually brought me to this church, and that happened during that search.
Yes, it did.
Yes. So I wasn't here yet. I didn't know them, but in fact, I think I talked to you on the phone sometime after that happened. But so anyway, that kind of slowed that process up. Y'all had several things. We got another committee member in here, and several things slowed up that whole process. But so happened suddenly in their life, and so obviously it's gonna have a profound effect. Anybody who's lost a child, which I have not. That's going to have a profound effect in a lot of different ways, and you've turned that out, at least done the best you can to turn that into something that's good. So kudos to that. But something else I was going to say about and then of course you've had an impact on my daughter too. I mean, working with the teenagers and those kind of things in the church.
Love that girl.
Well, yes, I'm glad somebody else does. I do. I'm just glad somebody else does too. But so tell us then, how did you get to be a part of the mission? I guess so. The name of the mission.
So the name of the mission that we're a part of now is called Hope Alive.
Okay, and I did a search on that. There's actually several Hope Alives that are out there. But so how did you get involved in that?
So it's actually really brand new.
Mm-hmm.
It officially became a Ugandan NGO just in May.
Hold on. Back up. NGO.
Non-governmental organization.
Okay, all right.
So essentially, I think it's equivalent to a nonprofit.
Oh, okay.
It's
what they would call it in Uganda.
Yes.
Okay.
So it is my husband now, Simon, and several of his colleagues that came together to officially form this NGO called Hope Alive. And they all come from different backgrounds. One is a lawyer, one is a pastor. My husband is a soccer coach and mentor. And they decided to, instead of everybody trying to meet needs individually, they decided it would probably be a good idea to join forces and put resources to better use together. So they put together and formalized Hope Alive, and in order to reach the youth in the community in Uganda.
So, okay, so trying to reach the youth, but like what specifically does that mean? Are we trying to give them a place to live? Or are we trying to feed them? Or are we just sharing the gospel with them? Like what are the needs that this mission is really trying to
So
meet?
one of the biggest struggles and issues in Uganda is a lack of fathers. I don't have the specific numbers, but it's extremely high, the number of homes without fathers, even men not knowing their fathers because of the culture and that it is where you can just have children and that go on your way and it's fine. So many children don't have fathers, and that is even has a bigger impact in the way they do school over there, because most kids go to boarding school. So they're not even home unless it's a long holiday. So they have almost no interaction with a father figure through their entire childhood. So this organization was put together to try and step into that role of mentorship and spiritual leadership and things like that. So most of the partners are schools or churches, and they've even been working with what they call a remand home, which is what we would call like a juvenile detention facility. Just to be present in these kids' lives, to give them direction, to teach them what it is to be a good human, to know what Scripture says, to just develop them as a whole individual, since they don't get that at home.
So how are they able to accomplish that? Like, what are they doing to be able to get in front of these kids to be able to do that?
Well, a lot of because of the individuals who are part of Hope Alive, the pastor and the lawyer, my husband is actually was in social work, so they have those connections. But for my husband specifically, he uses soccer with the kids, either at school or at churches. He'll go and he'll have sessions with them where he'll teach them soccer fundamentals and then have a mentorship session along with it. They're in the process of putting together like a formal program with the remand home to be like a continuous thing. And then the same at churches, if they have an event at the church, to have them come and do the mentor sessions with the kids while they're there at the church.
So when it comes to like the schools and the remand centers, is that what you...
Remand home.
Okay. Places like that. So the mission is specifically Christian, right? Is that true? Mm-hmm. Okay. So are they good with that? Like over here, if we walk into a school that may or may not, support that, they may not like that. Are they good with that there?
They are.
Okay.
That was actually one of the things that surprised me when the first time I went to Uganda. It was with a different organization, but the school that we worked with there is called Gombe Primary School, but it was a Muslim school. But they knew that our organization was a Christian organization. They knew that when the students came to our facility for our VBS weekend, that they were going to be presented with the gospel, with Bible stories, and they knew that.
And they were good with that.
And they were good with that.
Wow, that's crazy.
They even invited us to come to the school and play games with the kids. And
so why do you think that is? I mean, you'd think there would be some kind of attention there.
I know, and it always surprised me that this is one country in particular where Muslim and Christians don't have any outward hostility towards each other. They're friends. I don't know, it surprised me a lot to see how well they can work together, and even though they know their beliefs aren't the same, they can love each other and encourage each other and trust each other. It was
So, and I gave you no preparation for this whatsoever, the subject at all. So I guess when we hear about what's going on in Nigeria right now,
right.
and the persecution that's there, of course, I haven't really delved into that subject myself. I just know that Trump has brought it up, and now it's all over the headlines. And people, I mean, even I read this morning, even Nicki Minaj is now talking about this. Isn't that crazy?
Okay.
Yes. But I mean, first of all, on Trump's behalf, that's already surprising enough. But then that she would be speaking out for Christians is another. I'm just kind of blown away by the whole thing. But anyway, so it's become this big deal over there. And I know that Nigeria and Uganda they're not all the way across the continent, but they're not close.
Right, they're not close.
But so you don't see anything like that over in Uganda at all. And I've also got another side to that, but nothing the same that you've seen.
Nothing that I've seen.
Okay.
I've only seen the opposite of kindness and graciousness to each other, and acknowledging, yes, we don't agree on what we believe, but that doesn't mean we have to be hostile with each other.
Right. What we need to learn that in America.
Agreed.
We hadn't figured that out here. So where are you? Like, where is the hub of this ministry, or the focus? Is it on a particular city, or is it widespread, or what?
Right now, it's mostly in central Kampala and the surrounding little areas. So think of Kampala as Savannah, and then you have Garden City and Pooler and Thunderbolt.
The suburbs, Savannah suburbs.
So it's kind of like that. Because one of the issues is transportation. Getting anywhere is not easy ever. Dangerous, interesting. So just being able to get to the different schools and get to the different churches and things like that can be.
So when you say that, how do you get there?
So right now, I don't go to any of the places personally. It's Simon or the team members from the NGO, because he can just hop on a boda, which is a motorcycle, and go, or take a taxi, which are not like our taxis here at all. And he'll be fine because he's Ugandan and he's a man, and it's safe for him to do that. But I obviously cannot do that with a new daughter, not putting a baby on a motorcycle.
Come on, live a little.
No, not yet. Even though you will see that there. You will see brand new moms holding babies on the back of a motorcycle. So I personally haven't been able to go to the schools or the churches, but there's also purpose behind that as well, because one of their goals is to be able to get support and help from businesses and individuals in Uganda, because one of the big assumptions in Uganda is that if you're an American or you're white, you're automatically rich. So I purposely try to stay behind the scenes so they don't make assumptions about the organization or even my husband, and have unnecessary or unrealistic expectations for what the organization is going to try and do. So he has to get there that way, boda, taxi, and they try and meet at a central location and then go together. But there's a lot of logistics involved, because there's no direct way to get anywhere over there at all.
Huh.
So yeah.
So, I guess on a personal level, since you brought it up, you being a white woman over there, do you stand out?
Everywhere.
Okay, okay. And have you experienced? What kind of experiences have you had being one who stands out and all that? Is there racism?
Yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't look the same, obviously. If we're going out and we need to buy something, I get him to go do it, because if I try to go do it, they will charge me more.
Get out. Really?
Yes, because I'm white.
'Cause you're white.
Therefore, I'm rich.
That's right. Yeah.
So I try and let him do that. They're not trying to be mean or anything, but
I guess maybe that's what I was thinking. Is there
it's
for hatred or meanness?
There's never hatred or meanness, but there is being taken advantage of a lot.
Some stereotypes placed on you. Yeah.
Yes. But everybody's always kind.
Because they want your money.
Yes, exactly. They want my money. They want my attention.
Yeah.
Because I hate even saying it, but to know me elevates their reputation with their friends. I don't even like saying it because it sounds terrible, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know an American, you're friends with an American, therefore you are given more respect from your peers, which is weird, but that is what it is.
So is there, because you're white and because you stand out, does that increase, maybe you haven't experienced it yet, but are you aware of any danger that poses?
So far, no danger. Almost the opposite, where we have to protect the white woman and, make sure she's okay before anybody else, which is nice, but I don't love either. But I've never felt in danger specifically from any person. So, I feel safe in my neighborhood where we live. I can go on a walk by myself and I know I'll be okay. And I can walk to our close grocery store and know I'll be okay. So I never felt any danger from people, just dangerous situations like traveling just because of the conditions of Uganda.
So Kampala is one of the major cities there. Is it? That's
It's the capital.
It is the capital.
It is.
Okay.
It is now. It wasn't always, but it is now.
Okay. See, I've got I guess one of the things I'm thinking about is he's a friend, but he was the last pastor. I still call him my pastor. I still think of him as my pastor. He's the last pastor that I worked under and all that. And we worked together in two different churches at two different times. And in our first church, I left to go pastor my first church over in West Georgia, where we were just talking about, in Rootville. And 2 weeks later, he resigned from the same church. He was the head pastor to go be a missionary in Uganda. But he went into the bush, and he was out in the middle of nowhere. And he had 4 young kids, and half the time at night, they would be on the floor because they could hear gunfire going on around, and people were going crazy.
Northern Uganda.
Yeah, well, I really don't know where.
Probably.
North, south, but it was a dangerous situation for them, but it's just because they were in a different place. So it's good to know that you're not
I'm not
in that kind
area,
of situation.
no.
Yes, okay.
I'm sure. I have a feeling he was probably in northern Uganda, near the border of Sudan.
Huh, could be.
Because that's where Simon is from. He's from northern Uganda, and that is where a lot of the war happened in the not too distant past. That his mother lived through, and that he even lived through a little bit as a young boy. So
So y'all are there in Kampala. What is there? What's the plan down the road? Do y'all want to take this to other cities? Do you just want to try to focus on Kampala? I mean, what?
I think right now, because it's so new, the focus is just being established, getting good partners, so that they can be consistent with the schools and churches in Remand Home that they're working with right now. And then once they can have that stability, then start getting bigger.
Right. Well, that makes sense. What now?
Trust issues, you get very good.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah, that makes sense. So tell us, what have y'all seen? What have y'all seen so far? Are there any stories out there of any kids that y'all been able to really have an effect on, or is it still even too new for that? Kind of, give us a picture of what's happening on the front lines.
Well, for the organization itself, since it just became official in May.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that new.
Yes.
You said new. That's very
brand new. Still working on that, but since Simon has been doing this for, 7 years now from the previous organization, and then last year, once he was no longer with that organization, just doing it on his own, he does have his own kids that he still works with and is connected to. One in particular that I know personally, his name is Twaha.
Oh, okay.
And he's 16, and we have been able to help him get through school, buying his textbooks, because school is not free over there.
Really?
You have to pay school fees just to attend, and then you have to pay for your uniforms and your books and all your supplies.
What if a kid can't afford that? They just don't go to school?
Yep.
Wow.
They just don't go to school, which is also illegal, so yeah.
Goodness.
And the main way they do school is boarding school, so then you also have to pay for boarding at whatever school you're attending.
Oh,
Yes, there's so much. And then, depending on what level you are, once you get to P7, which is their primary 7, they have their final exams that they have to take, which then they also have to pay for, just to be able to graduate, in essence.
Okay, so far as you know, is that? I'm hearing all this, and I'm thinking that sounds like a money grab. I mean, is it a money grab?
For
or
some,
do they really need to? Does it really cost that much to do this thing? What?
it depends. You have the government schools, which are the more expensive ones.
More expensive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's like the opposite here.
More expensive than the regular, just, I guess, what you would call a local school. They, I believe, depend on the funds to be able to pay their teachers and feed students and things like that. But then you also have the even larger international schools, which are even more. And so you kind of have to navigate, what you can afford for your child. Because there's no bus system either, so you have to get your child to school, and it's so much. It breaks my heart to see some families not able to, they have to choose. If they have 5 children, they might have to pick only 3 of them to go to school.
Wow.
And they have to make the decision, which child do they think has the most potential to do well in school, and send that one. So that's heartbreaking to see. So
does Hope Alive address any of that, or
they're
kind of working toward that?
working
maybe?
towards that,
Okay.
yes, so that more children can have stable access
Sure.
to school, instead of unsure of, am I going to be able to go this semester or not? So it's
Gosh, that's stuff we don't even
think about here.
Wow.
The things we take for granted here that we don't realize how very important and fortunate that we are.
Okay, so I think I've taken us off from the question that I had, which was, any other inroads of things that y'all have been able to really accomplish so far? I mean, where do you feel like you are? Because with it being brand new, obviously, you can't talk about the thousands of kids. I mean, that's,
Right.
we're too new for that. But what can you talk about? Like, what steps have y'all been able to accomplish so far?
Really, like, beginning baby steps. Getting your foot in the door, because I mean, it is present some here, but over there it really is who you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't know you, they don't trust you, and very unlikely to get a chance. So just being present in the community as much as possible, being seen, being visible. You're not making any money from it. Showing them that you're committed to these kids is essentially where we are, is building that trust so that they'll let us in more and more and more and more.
Sure.
I'm really optimistic with the remand home, because those children, like, the reasons they're there, and so many of them, they're there because their parents took them there, and
Just dropped them off?
kind of. The parents can, just kick out their children if they feel that they are not well behaved, and kind of turn them over to the community or things like that. So I'm really hoping that particular area is going to see a lot of growth, because
Sure.
to feel unwanted by your own parents, I can't imagine
Yeah.
at all.
Okay, so what are some needs that are out there, or if somebody's here and there are people who are in here, people watching online, we say involvement, and usually when we think involvement, that's like, well, I got to take a mission trip over there, which is always an option, but there are lots of levels of involvement. So how can somebody get involved? How can they support those kinds of things?
Well, the most obvious answer is prayer. Need that no matter what. Because it's kind of tricky. Now, if you would like to come to Uganda on a service trip, we would love to have you. But as I mentioned earlier, their particular vision is trying to be Ugandan and rely on Ugandans supporting each other, so it's not looking like we're just asking Americans for a handout kind of thing. So while we would more than welcome any financial support, we can always use resources that I could take back whenever I visit. Things like school supplies, or sometimes clothing, sometimes resources, sometimes like that. If I don't even like asking, it makes me uncomfortable, but even if you just wanted to support
I asked. How about that?
myself and my husband just living there, that would relieve the burden for him to be able to continue to do this work, because it is all volunteer right now, until they hopefully want to get to a point where maybe they can pay themselves to do the work.
Sure.
But right now, it's all volunteer. It's all just their hearts and their commitment to the community. So if you ever just wanted to support us, that would not be turned down. So, because living in Uganda, living in Africa is hard. And I love it, and I love the people, and I love what we're doing, but you don't know what you have until you don't have it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But always, prayer, encouragement, like reaching out to me, or for those of you who are friends with Simon, since so many of you are, and I love that, reaching out to him and encouraging him in what he's doing. I wish, like you said, this was kind of last minute. I wish I'd have had an opportunity to maybe ask him or some of the other individuals in the NGO, like, what specifically can I say?
Yeah.
But didn't get that chance.
Okay, so let's make this as accessible as possible. So if people want to, so Candace, get ready. If people want to, let's just go to the contact thing. If people want to encourage you or encourage your husband or anybody else involved with that mission, how can we do that? Like, is Facebook the best way? Email? You want to give out your phone number to everybody? I mean, tell us.
Many people have my number, but Facebook is great. If you're not a social media person, email is great.
So
you want me to say it?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead and give us the Facebook, the names and the email addresses or whatever it is that you don't mind sharing with us.
So on Facebook, I'm Joanne Komakech, and he's Simon Komakech. Or actually, he's not on Facebook.
Really?
No, he's Simon Kongole on Facebook.
Oh, you gotta spell that.
Yeah, I was about to say we're gonna have really.
Kongole.
Kongole.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And then as far as email, I have one that I specifically use just for our ministry stuff, and it's James1, like the number 1, ministries@gmail.com. You can always reach us there.
It's a quiet exit.
And then, I don't mind giving out my phone number. So many people have it because I've had it since I was 14. So,
Well, how about this? Before you just give that out, how about if you want her phone number,
yes.
call the church office and we'll do that. We don't want to just give it out just anyway. So if you want the phone number, the church office number, we'll put that in the comment section, and then we'll be glad to give your phone number. We'll do our own bit of screening, I guess. Okay, so I think what you said about the school supplies, that's so simple. And now, since school's already started here, as soon as school was over, like after it had been a week in session, a ream of paper was like 25 cents, literally 25 cents. So if somebody wanted to, let's just say right now, real quick, last minute for everybody, but if somebody wanted to give some school supplies for you to take back for these kids, how could we set that up? And this is on the fly, and that's, I don't mind. That's kind of what a podcast, I guess, is. We don't want to map the whole thing out. So how can we make that happen? We got time. How can we make that happen? Let's work that out.
Would the church be willing to be like a drop-off point?
Of course, yes.
That would be great.
By when? When, when you're going back?
Yes, I'm going back on December 21st. So that is a Sunday. So maybe
we probably need to have a way to pack that up.
Yeah, so whatever date that is.
So December the 14th? Okay.
And also, in January, I have a friend who will be coming to Uganda with a nonprofit that helps support us and works with us. She'll be coming. So anything after the 14th, we can
make it happen.
We can make it happen.
Okay, so are there any specific school supplies that you would suggest over there?
So mostly like paper, pencils, pencil sharpeners.
Those little square
small
things?
ones. Mm-hmm. Maybe rulers. Simple things. Nothing elaborate.
No calculator?
No,
That's on everybody's phone anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Crayon?
maybe some crayons for the lower primary children. But they're very basic over there. So paper is always good to have, and pencils, and the first time I went to Uganda, we brought school supplies, and I will never forget. We gave them out, and the next day that we saw those kids, they brought those pencils with them to show you that they still had their pencil,
Yeah,
and it was theirs.
that's great.
So
So we're already doing we're already doing the shoebox thing. In fact,
Right.
have you taken those yet? Okay, took them today, and this is the same kind of idea.
Yes.
So that would be great. Okay, so we got encouragement, we got prayer. I think we all have. I remember growing up. I think I've mentioned this before. Growing up in my home church, they said that God's phone number was Jeremiah 33:3. I don't know why they called it God's phone number, but anyway, we all know how to get in touch with God. We now how to get in touch with you. We've got drop off for basic school supplies. We don't have to get elaborate because they just need the basics. Anything else that you can think of? You may have mentioned something else and I hadn't gotten back to it, but anything else you can think of?
Can people order from Amazon and send it straight to you?
sure.
That's what I was wondering. Is it hard for you to take it? Do they limit the amount?
Like of
So-
luggage.
So
Yeah.
the question on the table is the people on there can't hear when it comes from in here. So the question from in the room, and by the way, if you have a question or a comment, you've got time. You can put it in the comment section just like Jackie did. So go ahead and set that. But the question in the room is that going to be difficult to take as far as the flying over, and is it going to cost a lot and those kind of things? So go ahead.
Fortunately, with my Delta status, I get 5 free checked bags. So
Is there a weight limit to that? 'Cause
50 pounds each.
okay, all right.
But then also with my friend coming in January, if we need to space it out, she personally only ever travels with her carry-on bag so that her checked baggage can be supplies for Uganda.
Okay.
So we can space it out if we need to. So it should be okay.
Well, how
Okay.
do you get it from where you're going to your home to the,
Oh, like from the airport to
Yeah.
home? Oh, yes. So we have to rent a car every time we need to go somewhere. So Simon already knows they have to find a large vehicle when I come home, because it will be at least 5 checked bags and a carry-on and car seat and stroller and all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
But yes, we have, because of transportation limitations, we either use Uber, which is not cheap, or rent a car and driver.
So maybe we did, and I was trying to think of something else. So Jackie had asked, can we order on Amazon and have things sent to you? So where would we send that to?
So you can send it to my address here in
Okay.
Savannah.
Do you mind giving that, or do we want to?
Can they also contact the church and get that as well?
They could do that,
Yeah.
yes. Or I guess since we're going to be a drop-off location for the other stuff, they could have it sent here.
Or that. Mhm.
So Jackie, to answer your question, and anybody else who might have the same question, yes, you can order it on Amazon, and probably the best thing to do, since we don't want to give that address just here, just have it sent to the church, and it will be collected with the other things that we collect.
So could we send it straight to Uganda?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, so the question on the table was, can it be sent straight to Uganda? And the answer is no. So,
I have no idea how to get mail over there at all.
any mail? Really? Except for email.
Yep,
Anyway,
just
that's
that.
terrible. So, okay, all right. What else? Is there anything else that can be done to support you or to support the mission? Any of that kind of stuff?
On a personal level, which also supports the mission as well, we are trying to save for a vehicle so we no longer have to use Uber or hire a car and driver if we need to go anywhere that's more than half a mile away from our house. So if you would like to help us financially with that, that would be amazing. And that would relieve a really heavy burden currently. So.
And if somebody wants to do that, how do they do that?
I have a fundraiser going right now that is on Facebook.
So they would look up your page?
Yes, you
Okay.
can look up my page, and it should be the very last thing I posted because I don't post hardly ever. But also, if you would like more information about it, you can contact me directly as well. Email, calling the church,
Fair enough.
whatever.
Okay, and so what about an online presence? Is there anything that y'all have yet? I know it's very new, and there are, in case you weren't here at the beginning, because we do have a lot more eyes than we did when we started. There are other missions and ministries that share that same name, Hope Alive, but they are not the same. So, is there anything online?
They do have a Facebook page.
Okay.
I'm not sure how to, I don't know the link name for it
Okay.
exactly, but I can get that.
Would it just be under Hope Alive?
It's Hope Alive Initiative. I can find it and
Okay.
I can tell you.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Again, you still have a couple more minutes if you're online. If you want to type out any questions you've got. Any other questions in the room?
Will the lady take cash, Joanne, or
Mhm.
is it a limit, or they don't check that?
The question was can she take cash? And talking about on the airlines, if there's a limit to that, and there's no limit to that.
So the
You have-
Facebook page is Hope Alive Children Empowerment and Initiative Uganda.
Okay. All right. Are you putting that in the comment section there?
I will.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find it.
All right.
Hope Alive Children.
Empowerment and Initiative Uganda.
All right. Okay. Anything else you want to tell us about? Any other questions that y'all might have?
How old are the children before they start school? How old?
Talking about the ages of the school children.
Some children start as young as 2 in the schools, and then up to P7 is kind of close to our 7th grade here, so 13, 14, and that's just primary school, which is what their focus is right now. Secondary level is a whole different ball game.
Okay, not everybody can go.
Not everybody attends secondary school.
So what do they do after? the
After
7th grade?
primary,
The question is after primary school, if secondary isn't as big of a deal and a requirement, then what happens then?
a lot of time, nothing. Or they'll end up going to their home village. Sometimes a lot of agriculture work. But also just a lot end up in poverty, unfortunately.
All right. Well, I guess that does our time. Joanne, I appreciate you taking your time to come in and share with us. And yes. And so why don't we'll do the first thing you said. We'll pray for you and pray for the mission, and then we'll be gone. So let's pray together. God, I do thank you for Joanne and her willingness to come and share with us today, and pray your blessings on her and her precious baby and her family and the mission over there. We just pray that you'd watch over every bit of it. Lord, is so new, and certainly there is vision for what could be. But Lord, I pray that you'd direct every step, and that you would open every door, that they would have the chance to really get in on the front lines of of helping these kids in the situations that they're in. May they see someone who cares about them, or a group of people who care about them, and who want to help them grow in maturity and to have a healthy life. And I don't mean just physically, but so Lord, may they see that. And then I pray that that would open up doors to be able to share the gospel, and that the gospel would go forth, maybe in ways that they didn't see, at a bigger scale than what they could have realized, just because that's kind of how you operate. So, Lord, we just look forward to seeing what you're going to do and how you're going to use this mission in the near future and in years to come. So thank you for our time together, and help us to do in whatever way that you've called on us to, in our heart of hearts, in our minds, to help support and to help uplift. May we follow through with that, and then may you use it and multiply it. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, just a program note for the podcast. We will not be here next week because that is Thanksgiving Eve. Why don't we ever use that term? We're talking about Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. We don't say Thanksgiving Eve. That's weird. But anyway, that is what it is. That's the day before Thanksgiving. And then we won't be doing it the next week either, because we are actually going, speaking of the boxes, we're going to be going to the distribution center in Atlanta, Georgia. So I will not be here that night. So for the next 2 weeks, we will not have this, but then we'll join back in on December the 10th. So plan on you being back with us then. All right? All right. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for being online. We'll see y'all next time.